Rising Lotus. We've loaded into the game right now. Let's see, can Rising Lotus do this, guys? Send them your energy. Mousesports probably going to go 2-0 here. Right now, we got Action Jackson and X-Scoundrel ready to call this, so guys, take it away.
All right, well, what a performance last game from Mousesports, easily able to dominate their opponents. Rising Lotus need to find some kind of a silver bullet, I guess, to come back into the series. Maybe the Celeste is the answer. Certainly something we like watching. Scoundrel, looking at the comps, do you think that Celeste is going to make a big impact here?
It really depends on how effective this Black Feather can be, because you saw it was the last pick, and you know we've seen Black Feather as a counter pick to Celeste throughout this European qualifier so far. There is a lot of CC for this Black Feather to attempt to get through. He can get caught out here.
Yeah, that's the early gank that you know Claves can do so well. Hunter coming across. Mousesports, Mr. Cool could be in a bad spot. He does go down. Kill credit onto Hundor. That's certainly a good start if Rising Lotus want to contest this spot.
Absolutely. I mean, I actually think that both Arden and Sky can be aggressive here onto Finn. And yeah, you can see here. Celeste is going to come down. They need to be super careful. I don't know if Mousesports are in the right situation right now.
This is very, very deep. Great Kali. He's trying to back away here. Maybe looking for that 4 damage down onto Hundor. Net Toilette actually picks it up. Great Kali playing with fire off on the sidelines. Net Toilette buys a potion. He's going to be just barely alive. He's going to get out of here with the Vanguard. Kali, he might have stuck around too long, though. Perhaps should have just recalled during that time, but look at the damage he's laying down with the forward barrage. He's trying to keep this fight going. There's the Surrey Strike. Gets some more down. Net Toilette, he's going to walk into the Heliogenesis and needs to back away. Mousesports, maybe a little bit of overconfidence after their dominant game 1.
Yeah, and again, Black Feather just pushing / trying to freeze. I think he's actually freezing that top lane minion wave right now away from Celeste, but it's very difficult as a Black Feather to freeze effectively versus a Celeste, and I'm not sure that potentially was the correct idea, because you can see these Heliogenicide are just going to push the minion wave out. Maybe he could have come down, maybe he could have had an impact in those smaller skirmishes in the jungle, but he chose just to focus on getting some farm in his back pocket.
Yeah, and the fact that Mr. K. Cool has been able to stop this wave from pushing into the turret, though, is quite a big deal. Because Janu, he's used a lot of energy on these Heliogeneses, trying to push the wave out. This is an opportunity for maybe Hundor to come back in, though. He's looking for that aftershock, after burn, onto Mr. K. Cool. He avoids the core collapse. There's the quibble, though, and the damage is going to go down. Scoundrel, I swear to God, man, the curse.
I'm sorry. I'm incredibly sorry. Yeah, this is Black Feather, Mr. Keiko, we've praised him for his mechanical prowess, but he's really not showing too much in terms of game sense and knowing when he's a potentially threat. Sky going super aggressive here.
He is going very aggressive, but he is able to back off decently. Ryu ran extremely low. Net Toilette probably the one in the greatest amount of danger here, although the core collapse is going to land on the Great Kali. There's a Vanguard giving him the speed boost. Ryu Ren, he's very low. Mr. Keiko has joined the fight yet again and jumps forward to pick up the kill. That was a very close exchange yet again. Mousesports teetering on a precipice here with a lot of these fights, but they are going to pick up one return kill.
Yeah, and also going to make sure that their duo in the jungle can roam effectively and clear up all of these camps that are still remaining and are alive. Great Kali right now, 0, 1, and 2 picked up 3 crystal bits, so we'll be doing a fair amount of damage with that forward barrage at this point. So they need to be careful that they don't get into a full-blown fight. They're going to try and catch out Hundor here, potentially.
Ooh, Mr. Keiko eats core collapse in the lane. That's a lot of damage, but looking towards the jungle, like you were just mentioning, bit of a trade going forth between Great Kali and Hundor. Not too much damage on either side. Forward barrage wasn't able to connect in its entirety. Mining has begun now, so we'll probably see these minion mines taken away pretty quickly. Rising Lotus might actually want to go for an invade here. They are posturing quite far forward, but a scout trap spots out Hundor. That's going to shut that plan right down.
Yeah, Great Kali is actually behind an experience to the glaive at this point in time as well. It's not something that we have seen be regular with a Sky in the jungle. She always seems to be farming camps so effectively that she ends up being super far ahead in experience, but she's not too far behind. We do see the first item Shiver Steel here for the Black Feather, which is something that we have seen most Black Feathers go throughout the entirety of the European qualifiers, just the exception being the most recent Black Feather previous to this game, where there was no Shiver Steel early on. And do feel like they had a problem getting on top of the targets that he needed to, especially versus Celeste. The Shiver Steel is just so good.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think it makes perfect sense for Mr. Keiko to be picking that one up here. He's got to be careful, though. The rotations coming in thick and fast from Rising Lotus again and again up towards that lane. think maybe what we saw a bit earlier on with support sticking around the lane, Net Toilette might want to consider doing the same thing, as Mr. K. Cool is being bullied a decent amount here. He is, at this point, about halfway to level 6. Once he gets that Rose defensive, he should be a lot, well, in a much better position.
Oh, absolutely agree. He's actually just farming up as much as he can. Like you said, he is pretty close to hitting that level 6 mark, 3/4 now. We'll be very shortly having that Rose defensive, but like you said, more aptly, the Rose defensive. He can use it to look to go aggressive onto Sky, but more realistically, you think with the amount he's been ganked, he will just be using it to try and avoid any more afterburns kicking him in the teeth. Sky, also level 6 now, does have that death from above, so we'll be able to be zoning, more importantly attempting to try and deal as much damage to the forward front line of Risen Lotus as much as possible anyway.
Alright, so taking stock of the game as a whole, even with the kill disadvantage, we're seeing an 1,000 gold lead on the side of Mousesports. They're doing a very good job in many departments. Mr. K. Cool sitting at 58 farm to Keanu's 46. Great Kali also leading over Hundor. Moving forward, that could certainly have an impact, perhaps around the first gold mine fight of the game, which, given that it's slightly over half full, won't be that far from now.
You'd think that Arden, especially versus this team, is going to be wanting to go for a Crucible ASAP, just because the ability to chain crowd control from Risen Lotus is pretty incredible. You have the Afterburn, you have the Quibble, obviously when that hits Overdrive that gets the stun, and obviously then the Core Collapse also. There's multiple targets that you need to be thinking about blocking. If we don't see reflex blocks ASAP, we're definitely going to see a Crucible. But I imagine Blackfeather's next item before his Surface Mask, which is likely going to be one of the choices for him, will be a reflex block. He will definitely need it if he's looking to do anything in these team fights.
Oh, I 100% agree, and we are seeing a Fountain of Renewal already picked up for a few people here. Here comes maybe what could be a fight. Great Kali gonna use that Surrey Strike, leaving Net Toilette out to dry a little bit. He doesn't have any Vanguard targets to get out of here. Kali's trying to get closer, but he doesn't get there in time. Polite Company keeping Kali a little bit close. Comfort. We should be able to back out of here. A little bit of poor coordination there, I would argue, coming out of Mousesports' lineup.
I would say miscommunication. I definitely think that Arden did not need to die. If he'd just known that Sky was heading towards that lane, he could have started walking and attempted to vanguard towards Sky to give himself the best possible opportunity to escape. You would imagine that the gold mine will be a target for Risen Lotus as soon as they can. It has nearly stacked up to full at this point in time. So they may try and look for yet another pick and then attempt to go for that gold mine to get a huge gold bonus, which will be 300 gold, obviously at its full stack, which I believe will be there in a couple of seconds, so it'll definitely be a key target. Looks like Great Kali and the roaming gang squad, they're looking to make something happen here.
Yeah, but Hundor with the Afterburn quite easily able to back off and play it safe. Mr. Keiko wants to pick up some of these camps, and Keanu not having the same level of success at defending them as we saw from Arc Lost in Space earlier on today. Mousesports, they don't want to let the map go the way of Rising Lotus. They don't want to give up all of the pressure, all of the vision, all of the area around that gold mine for free. But here comes what could be a big fight. Mr. Keiko is going to get Afterburn, but it's the wrong direction for the pick. Rising Lotus aren't in a great spot. Big
the gauntlet!
That was massive. Keanu instantly burst. Hundor in a bad spot as well, slowed up by Mr. Keiko. This could be an ace coming across, and it is for Mousesports. 9 minutes in, they're able to pick themselves up a huge team fight.
Well, you could see he was looking for that gauntlet at the perfect time, and, well, absolutely, there's only one reflex block, and that's on the side of Hundor, so he wasn't able to use that there. I think he managed to escape that, but it wasn't really him, the target that they were looking for. Perfect positioning by Sky as well. You saw the gauntlet come down. Keanu locked up without a reflex block of his own. He's only just finished that Broken Myth. And then Sky, a full unload of that forward barrage onto Celeste, and she went down very quickly, and also allowed Blackfeather the time and space to just do what he can do on these squishy targets. So yes, very, very effective team fight employed by Mouse there, and a brilliant gauntlet by Toilette.
So we just seen, yeah, it's Net Toilette. We got it wrong for like an entire season before we met him in a live event. And he was like, yeah, it's just Net Toilette. And we were like, what? But anyway, we also just saw the Serpent's Mask picked up from Mr. K. Cool. So a nice power spike for the side of Mousesports after the huge gold swing acquired by getting a turret, a gold mine, and an ace. They're looking quite solid right now with the 3,000 lead and the kill advantage. They're also pushing up quite deep, maybe looking for the vision. So we'll have to see if they can keep this ball rolling, or what
You
Rising
imagine
Lotus
that
can
they'd
do to
also
come
want.
back.
I mean, there's so many items that I think Net Twilight wants to pick up at this point in time. You really think that he'd want a Warhorn because he needs to be in a position to get that gauntlet onto the Celeste? Because realistically, that is the key target, right? She has now got a reflex block, so it will be easier for her to avoid that kind of thing. But, you know, realistically, you want to be able to get that gauntlet onto Celeste to stop her from poking from the outside. So there's so many items that he wants to pick up. He's picked up a Crucible, he's got a Fountain. Maybe that Warhorn will be a point of call for him next. He hasn't actually picked up Sprint Boots yet, so potentially even Sprint Boots might be better for him just as an early option, looking for the ability to sprint and get that in place.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective for sure. I mean, at the moment, I think the biggest thing on the side of Mousesports that they could be doing is just getting some vision. Although Mr. K-Cool seems to think that he can challenge 1 versus 2 here. He is doing some good damage onto Keanu. Goes and gets the kill and actually saved from the turret by a forced accord. Mr. K-Cool, he knows when his power spikes are, and he is going to use them.
Exactly, that's a brilliant power spike for the Black Feather to employ. Once he's got that Serpent's Mask with the Shiver Steel, he is such a sustain and annoying hero to deal with, especially with someone like Celeste. He can just get on top of them. Celeste doesn't have that Frostburn. As I said, there's another little fight going on here.
Yeah, Ryu Ren taking the brunt of the damage for now. Mr. Keiko is going to jump onto the backline with the Rose Offensive and find the kill. Hundor could not do anything there. Keanu has made his way back from base now, so he should be able to help stop this push. It was great Keith Conley on the sidelines trying to get the poke down. Mousesports might not be done yet. They are taking their time, shoving up the wave. Great Kali, look at the damage that Hundor is doing to him. Afterburn knocks him back towards the gauntlet and to safety. And now he's going back in with the Fountain proc. Hundor, he's got a reflex block just for the shield, but it's not going to be enough. Mr. K Cool, one more hit from the turret would do it, but he doesn't go down. The Solar Storm clips him, I believe, with just one tiny bit of damage, but it's not enough. And Mousesports back away cleanly. No one dies. Mousesports, seriously, they are experts at ice skating on very thin ice.
They really, really do tread thin ice, but they know exactly that kind of depth and know when they will and won't fall in. It was just incredible play there from Mousesports. Mr. K-Cool knowing his limits on this champion. And I've got to say, Great Kali's positioning on this Sky has been absolutely fantastic. His ability to reposition has been some of the best that I have seen, and getting these, these pokes from his forward barrage just have been absolutely incredible so far. You've got to say that Frostburn can't come quick enough for Celeste. She really needs the ability to at least slow down Mr. Keiko when he decides to jump in.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. Mousesports, I love the fact that they have picked up the Sky. Just to touch on what you were mentioning earlier, Great Kali has put it to great use, as well as Mr.
Right
Keiko
there, exactly,
in previous
right
games.
there.
Look at the forward barrage. Ryu Ren getting wasted right now. Mr. K Cool might want to keep this fight going, but he is taking some harassment from the turret, and Keanu doing some good damage, but Ryu Ren first to fall. That's going to be the core collapse. Lands onto Mr. K Cool. Keeps Rising Lotus in this fight. Keanu finding the first kill in a long time for the side of Rising Lotus. They're actually looking for more here with both of the damage sources still available. Net Toilette is taking a lot of poke from those Heliogenesis. But it looks like Keanu and Hundor can't quite close the gap yet. Boots popped by Net Toilette. He knows he needs to get out of here. That's going to be the Vanguard. He manages to escape the Afterburn. Here comes the Solar Storm. Lands a bit onto Net Toilette, but not enough. Great Kali quite low on energy. Gonna have to be careful here. Gauntlet popped. He needs to run it down to stop him from getting into him. Oh, what was that Surge Strike? Definitely the wrong direction. Goldmine, it wants Hundor, but it can't find it. Over-aggression is answered very well by Rising Lotus right now.
And we just praised Mousesports for knowing their limits when it comes to turret dives, but I feel like their limits were well and truly breached as they made their way for a dive on that tier 2 turret. Unfortunately, they just managed to pick up the kill onto Finn, but had absolutely nothing left to get the Celeste down. I realistically think they're relying on Mr. K-Cool to carry them through these team fights, and once Mr. K-Cool went down, yes, Great Kali has been doing a great job at poking, and his positioning of that forward barrage has been fantastic, but you match Sky up against a Celeste, and a Celeste with Broken Myth, she's going to be out-damaging her because she can just spam those Heliogenesis.
Oh, absolutely. So right now, we're 20 seconds, 15 seconds actually, away from the Kraken spawning. Mouse trying to be efficient here and take the gold mine right before it disappears, but Rising Lotus, They smell a rat. They know what's going on here. Oh, 300 gold is going to be picked up by Mousesports. Now they want to go for the fight. Mr. K Cool jumping onto the backline. He blocks with the Rose offensive. The core collapse. Janu gets melted. Hundor, the next target. Kali trying to chase in here. Mr. K Cool is going to be able to stick to him, and that is a very bad fight for the side of Rising Lotus. They're going to lose 2, and likely the Kraken as well.
That's exactly what Mousesports wanted to happen, because obviously Glaive jumping in, attempting to steal more than anything, put him in a really awful position. And it just gave, after that afterburn was used, it just gave Rose, it just gave Blackfeather the best opportunity to go straight in on Celeste. Using that Rose offensive to block really worked out for him. And yeah, I've got to say, I think that was a mistake to try and go for that steal right there. You limit your ability to peel for the Celeste by using that afterburn so aggressively, and that just gives Blackfeather that indication to say, okay, now's my time to go in and deal as much damage to Celeste as possible.
All right, so Kraken now pushing along with Mousesports at its back. Can the side of Rising Lotus defend here? This is the game for their tournament lives. If they lose it, they will be out of the second qualifier and out of a chance to make it to the Spring Championships. Mousesports, they managed to make it to 3rd place last time around, and they're going to be looking to do the same or better this time. Crucible blocks the Force Accord. Beautiful play there from that Toilette. The damage is pretty huge. Death from above going to zone them out. Gauntlet comes across. Mr. K Cool right onto the back line. Doesn't manage to block the core collapse this time, and a big solar storm turns things around a little bit. Mousesports, they need to get out of here. Kali goes down. Mr. K Cool very low. Mousesports, they managed to pick up 2 turrets, but they're not going to find anything more.
Yeah, they're just going to leave the Kraken to its own fate at this point and back off. They went a little bit deep once again. Going to steal away as many of these back camps as possible while the rest of Rising Lotus deal with the Kraken. I don't think they're going to stick around for the minion mine. They don't want to risk it. They will just back off ASAP. I've got to be honest, I felt like they could have been a little bit more passive when it came to the siege. Their Sky is very, very good in the siege against things like Finn, against things like Glaive. So just let Sky use that forward barrage, let the Kraken do its thing. There's no need to go that aggressive on the turret dives. Net Twilight is going to have to be super careful here. Force Accord is up. He's not going to choose to use it though. Obviously, great Crucible last fight as well to stop a potentially 3 or 2 man Force Accord coming out from the Finn. So you could say Net Twilight has really been on point with these reflex blocks.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
Didn't even realize you were gone for such a short period of time. Don't worry, Jackson.
I'm just that quick at fixing these issues, man. What can I say?
I wish I could fix my issues, but doing my best job.
All right, well, in any case, Mousesports still in a very good position here. They've got 3 members moving towards the base of Rising Lotus. They know that they want to abuse the fact that they have the lead for as long as they can, about 5,000 gold ahead for the time being. Great Kali looking for the poke over the wall, and a Forced Accord block, even without vision. Net Toilette is a god with the Crucible.
That is reaction times of a monster right there. Net Toilette showing once again he is quick on the finger trigger. And I've got to say, Eve of Harvest being picked up for Keanu does give him a little bit of survivability versus Blackfeather, but Blackfeather right now, just huge amounts of chase potential. He's got Atlas Pauldrons to slow down attack speed, he's got Shiver Steel, he has also got a Aegis to block potentially a core collapse if the Crucible doesn't do it for him, so he's got all the ability to try and burst down this Keanu on the Celeste as much as possible. He's got very aggressive positioning here, potentially going to get caught out. He has to be super careful.
Well, Mr. Keiko does eat an afterburn. He's going to be able to use that Rose offensive away. Finally, a Force Accord lands, but it's not going to be enough. Here comes the Gauntlet. They're trying to keep Janu in the fight. He's taking a lot of damage. Can he find the return? That's a Solar Storm. Mr. K Cool, he's staying so healthy on the back line for the time being, but he finally is going to go down. Rising Lotus are winning this fight. Great Kali, the last man standing for Mousesports. Look at the forward barrage. Picks up Ryu Ren. He's trying to kite around the sidelines. Hundor, he could go down as well. Great Kali. This might be another 1v3. We've seen him do it before. He's going in onto Keanu. Can he find a core collapse? Great Kali picks up the 1 versus 3 ace and might look to end the game by himself.
What the hell was that, Jackson? That was Sky positioning absolutely ridiculously. Great Kali pulling it through from some very potentially over-aggressive positioning from the Blackfeather. And oh my word, that is some of the best Sky play I have ever seen, Jackson.
It was absolutely fantastic, and now he's looking to maybe end the game here. Some good damage to the Vein Crystal, but all three members are about to be up. I don't know if he's going to be able to juke around as well as he did earlier. He already used Surrey Strike. He goes down, and now with him out of the fight for 44 seconds, maybe Rising Lotus can get a Kraken and turn things on their head.
Well, this could be a setup for a trap. They might even look to them going for the Kraken. They might even look for the backdoor here, Jackson. Are they trying to hide this one out? Are they trying to go straight for the Vein Crystal as they try and focus down the Kraken? We have potentially seen this happen before. They're going to wait and see if they go for it.
This would be absolutely insane if Mousesports were able to pull it off. Obviously, the Vein Crystal is regenerating a decent amount of health, so they're going to have to get through an entire one.
No, they know.
And Rising Lotus, yeah, they're playing it safe. They're clearing the wave instead of going too deep and going for something like Kraken. I think this is a good plan. But man, great Kali. Whew! That was hot.
Yeah, I mean, he turned a really awful situation around just single-handedly with some ridiculously well pinpointed forward barrages and the ability to reposition that obviously that Sky has. Unbelievable play by that guy right there. I mean, Blackfeather, I think, just way too aggressive in his lane position before that fight and unfortunately got caught out. But honestly, I thought it was doom and gloom for Mousesports by that point, but really, really managed to turn things around.
I wonder how many times we're going to see Great Kali do that, because we've seen him before get a 1v3 ace with the Glaive, although hang on a second, we might see a fight here. Mr. K Cool, nah, he's going to be able to back out safely. Force Cord not able to be used enough to great enough effect, rather. Here comes Net Toilette, though. They might be looking for the Gauntlet. He has it available. Trying to find an opportunity to get onto Keanu. Good poke damage coming across. That's going to be the Gauntlet, but Keanu's on the other side of it. Net Toilette very low already. Mr. K Cool, he's going to get stunned up by the core collapse. Trying to sustain on the back line. Rear end first to fall. Great Kali untouched still. Solar Storm not going to do enough.
What the hell?
It's going to be a double kill coming through from Kali. It's going to be Mr. K Cool cleaning up after him, and it's another ace for Mousesports. They're going to be moving forward to our round of 8.
And this was a pure transition from Blackfeather realistically doing most of the damage and dealing with Celeste to transitioning to Great Kali on this Sky, just absolutely monstrously dealing with the lineup of the Risen Lotus. And this will be heartbreak for Risen Lotus. They got to this point in the last qualifier, they were facing the same team and unfortunately unable second time round to climb that hurdle. Well, there we go. Mousesports, they take the series, and this is a game, or rather a day of 2-0s, Jackson. Every single series has been a 2-0.
It has been explosive, though, especially that final game. Absolutely crazy. Man, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the round of 8, actually. I mean, I feel like the level of competition just keeps on rising.
Yeah, I really, really cannot wait for next week as well. We have potentially our top teams just going toe-to-toe with each other. I mean, the level of competition has been incredible. Some of these, I guess, more semi-professional and amateur teams that, you know, really struggled last time round, some of them have really upped their game going forwards, and I'm super excited. Very disappointed, you know, Lemon and Lime got knocked out. They were one of my favorites, but it just shows you how much the competition has risen and how difficult some of the old guard teams have been struggling to keep up with them. And this is just the new blood in Vainglory coming through and through. And really just providing the next level of competition.
All right, well, to break down that absolutely incredible game and probably congratulate Great Kali a little bit more, we're going to pass it back to our analysts. Humanist and Rome, what a game.